What's up, everybody? Brett Okamoto from ESPN, joined as I am every week by James Krause, who has been in Vegas so often that you guys are going to love this. He has his own room at the Athlete Hotel. He doesn't even have to check in anymore. He just got a key and he just walks in like he owns the place. And then Nick
That's right.
Kalikas, who was right down the road at Circus Sports here in Vegas as well. We'll get right to it, fellas. No need to kind of build up this card. This card is probably the deepest card of the entire year. Obviously 3 title fights, but then a whole lot of great fights on the undercard. I would say that the undercard is the strongest of any card, any event, this year and maybe even going back into last year. I love this undercard, so I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say about your best bets. But let's start at the top. Obviously, Israel Adesanya moving up from the middleweight to light heavyweight. Interesting. He said that he's not really putting on any weight. He's going to come up and fight Jan Blachowicz. Looking and weighing pretty much the exact same what he weighs at 185 when he's competing at 185. He is the favorite as well, minus 240 right now at William Hill. Blachowicz coming back at plus 200. The line has moved a little bit towards Jan, not too much. It opened at minus 270, and then the over-under is 2.5 to go over that. Minus 150, under is plus 110. So James, we'll start off with you. What do you think about this main event and the fact that Izzy is coming up and not putting on any extra weight?
First of all, I think that's I actually know for a fact that's he said something about like 193. That's not true. That's not a real thing. So okay. Like he's heavier than that. But I do like it. That I love everything about this fight for Izzy. The size difference or whatever. Jan's more of a striker, so I do think that favors Izzy. The only fight that kind of just puts me off a little bit is this fight with Kelvin. Kelvin's a smaller guy. He's probably more the size of a welterweight. So all that being said, Kelvin is faster. He does cover distance better. Everything would point to Izzy winning this fight. But I like Izzy to win. I'm staying away from it though. It's just the size difference it's not a normal 10-pound jump like the rest of them. 20-pound jump. It's a big size difference. I can't. I like Izzy, but I can't bet on.
Well, I love the inside info that he's lying to us about his weight. So breaking a little bit of news there, James. Appreciate that. Nick, what do you think about the main event?
Yeah, it's another tough one. I mean, because it's priced probably to the point where it almost is a stay away from point. You know what I mean? Like right now, 235, 240 out there. The line's dropping a little bit. It's a dog or pass situation. Look, Izzy is one of the best strikers I've ever seen. I mean, he's so technical. He's so precise. He's going to have the speed advantage. And Blachowicz is kind of going to walk into some punches, right? And the angles that Izzy uses, the leg kicks, he's been chopping people down with those leg kicks. And he's going to utilize that here as well. I mean, he basically beat Romero he beat Costa that way. And that's exactly the game plan here as well. I think he's going to use his angles, kind of pepper Blachowicz along the way. But Blachowicz is strong, man, as we just discussed. I mean, obviously a weight class above him. And I think he's going to be more of a heavyweight type of build, like body and frame by the time they actually octagon and fight. So the power, I think he's going to go for some takedowns along the way, get him up against the cage. It is a smaller cage. So I think it's going to be a difficult fight, but one that Izzy can probably win. So minus 230, I think you got to kind of look at the dog or just stay away from it completely.
And why not take the dog, Nick? Because and can you talk a little bit about just how the market has priced Jan? Because if I'm looking at his history, I mean, it's no secret. It's kind of what we've been saying about him in the build up to this fight is that he's always underrated and he is constantly the dog and he's constantly winning these fights. I mean, he's been an underdog against Luke Rockhold, Corey Anderson, Dominic Reyes, Jimmy Manuwa, Jared Cannonier. He was an underdog in each of those situations and looked great in those fights. Not only won them, but looked spectacular in them. So when do we say, there's value here on Jan Blachowicz, that he's an underdog defending his title against a guy who's going to weigh significantly less? So why don't we want to take him?
No doubt. It's just, I think we're entering that territory where Adesanya is just one of those special elite level fighters. So that's why it's difficult here. I think if it was a different type of matchup and he wasn't fighting such a potentially all-time great in Izzy, that's what's kind of scaring me. You know what I mean? I think it's almost his rise has been amazing for Blachowicz, but like you said, I think he's won fights as an underdog, something of that nature. So it's incredible. So you're right. He's always underrated. He's always not getting enough value or whatnot. And bettors that have been backing him have won. It's just in this spot, it's a little bit more hesitant because I do see the advantages. I mean, it's a striker versus striker contest. Even though Blachowicz has a better game, it's not easy to take Izzy down these days, right? His takedown defense has gotten a lot better. He really is starting to become a more well-rounded mixed martial artist. He's working that ground game really extensively as well. So I just think there's a lot to like about Izzy's growth in this spot. And I think Blachowicz almost kind of fought above his level at this point. Does that make sense? Like, I think he's almost overachieved where I don't know if we've seen the best of Izzy yet.
James, when you think about the fight, how do you see it going down? What do you see Jan trying to do, and how do you see Izzy countering it? I mean, just break down the fight for us. If we're not going to bet it, that's fine. But tell me what you think that how the fight goes.
Well, from Izzy's side, I completely agree with Nick here. I think he has to chop the legs, stay long. You don't want to get in the pocket and trade with Jan. The dude's got crazy power, and and power at 205, right? We're not talking about power at middleweight. We're talking about power at like heavyweight. Mm-hmm. So I think he's got to stay long. He's got to pick the leg apart. Stay on the jab. If I'm Jan, I'm looking to put Izzy. I'm looking to fit in, not even to necessarily take him down, fit in and just close the space. Right. You put him on the fence, wear on him, put my big body on him, and try to close that gap where Izzy is the best. Right. Like, and you asked, like, why is he being undervalued? Well, in my opinion, he's being undervalued because you're talking about Jan, who's known for his good striking and power against probably the best striker in all of MMA right now. And it's just, it's Jan's skills are amazing. It's the problem is Izzy's just better at what Jan's best at, right? So all that being said, if I'm Jan, I fit in early. I put my weight on him, make him hang around, try to drag this into the deep end, maybe wrestle him a little bit and get him where he's not so he doesn't move. He doesn't have that swag that Izzy, because once Izzy gets going, man, he is he's tough to stop. Once the ball starts rolling, it's tough to get him to stop. So if I'm Jan, I put him on the fence. I try to wear him down just a little bit, put that big body on him. And, Izzy's going to look to stay long, chop the leg, just like Nick said. It's an interesting matchup. It really is.
James, last thing that I would ask about this one is Jan seems to me like the kind of guy who, if he's down on the scorecards going into the later rounds, he will know that and he will take chances. He's not a guy who will just continue to sort of be hesitant and kind of allow the fight to come to him. I think that he will take risks. So if you like Izzy, do you like him by a finish? Do you think that there's an opening potentially later in the fight if Jan is taking some chances and willing to go out on a shield, so to speak?
Yeah. I think the problem with that is you're talking about, basically we're talking about Jan's fight IQ, right? But once again, maybe the best fight IQ in the game right now is Izzy, right? His fight IQ, his ability to control range is just amazing. So if Jan is, hey, I'm down here, Izzy knows he's up. You know what I mean? He knows how to play this game. And once again, we're just talking about, I think Izzy's just a little bit better at Jan at the fight IQ game. So he's going to know that. This dude's been striking for a long time. He's very aware of what's happening. And like you said, up, down, left, or right. If these guys both know at all times where they need to be and what they need to do, no matter what round 1, round 5, they both know if they're up or down. They're very intelligent with how they fight. And if Jan knows that, Izzy knows that, and vice versa. But yeah, I could definitely, if I had to throw money on this fight, it would probably be on the under, man. I don't see these guys going to decision. I do not see that. And the crazy thing is like, and this is the X factor that we don't know, is like the weight class jump is he going to have power at 205? We don't know that. You know what I mean? That's the thing we don't know. And is Izzy's chin going to hold up at 205? Like, we don't know these things, so it's, once again, I'm staying away from it, but if I had to, I would probably go on the under.
It's pretty crazy that a lot of Jan's biggest wins have come against middleweights. Jared Cannonier, who's now a middleweight, obviously, yep. Luke Rockhold. He fought Jacare. So a lot of these guys who moved up to 205.
He just bullied Rockhold. I mean, he just disrespected Rockhold. Mm-hmm. I mean, just bullied him. And that's, once again, we don't know the weight difference. That's the scary thing for me. It's kind of like, I don't really, like that's it. It's all fun and games and all say that, but man, sometimes that it makes a big difference. Look what he did to Rockhold. I mean, Rockhold is good. Yeah. He's good. And he just bullied him, man, made him look like a kid.
Yeah. And what's interesting is, I think it was Anthony Smith actually who was telling me this, James, is that he took something from that Luke Rockhold fight, and that when they tied up, that Luke wasn't able to do anything with Jan from a grappling perspective. And Anthony's like, yep, that's one thing around the gyms. Everybody's got a story about if they rolled with Luke Rockhold, they're like, man, that guy is a nightmare to roll with, to grapple with. If he's got you against the fence, and he was not able to do anything there against Jan. So maybe we're underrating Jan as a grappler, and maybe he will come out here and surprise us all and maybe be able to take Izzy down. I think that's $1 million question. If you believe in Jan, perhaps that's a reason that you want to back him, is that we're going to see something from him that we're typically not used to seeing. Let's get to the 135-pound fight. Aljamain Sterling versus Petr Yan opened very close. Jan, slight favorite. And when I checked it this morning, it's now down to basically a pick 'em. Nick, I wanted to get you first before we go to James for the matchup. Where do you see this line going, and how is the market kind of reacting to both of these guys right now?
Well, it's definitely been more action on Sterling since the line opened. At the dog money, any dog money at all, people were gobbling it up. That's why you're seeing it closer to a pick 'em now. We could see it flip back towards John a little bit, but we could also see it stay exactly to pick 'em or flip towards Sterling. So it's one of those spots that the action's going to continue to pour in. There's going to be a lot of two-way action at the sports books because both these guys are such an elite level. Everybody knows how good these guys are, and they know it's going to be a competitive fight. So I think there's just going to be a ton of two-way action on this fight. But personally, I've been flipping on this fight back and forth as well. I think you got to chase the plus money here, or the value side, whichever turns out to be an underdog is kind of the way to go. I'm leaning a little bit more towards Yan myself in this spot now, but early on I was leaning towards Sterling. But after I dug back through and looked at everything and looked at the intangibles, I think it's probably Jan's fight to win or lose.
James, what do you think?
I've flipped back and forth on this as well. And I'm the opposite. I'm kind of leaning towards Aljamain. I've rolled with him before. He's an incredible grappler. If he gets you down, there's big problems. That being said, Yan is not the easiest guy to take down, and he's going to be there for 25 minutes, and he's going to hit you. He's going to find you. I'm once again staying away from it, but I agree with Nick 1,000%. Whoever the plus money is probably where you need to go. I'm leaning towards Sterling on this one, though. Coin flip. You pick which one is. This is such a great fight, such a great matchup, such a styles clash. I like Sterling. With his ability to finish on the ground, I think he's going to get a takedown, and he is something else on the ground. That dude's a problem on the ground.
Yeah, well, you told us that Izzy was lying about his weight. Do you think Aljamain's lying about his game plan? I mean, he told me earlier this week that he'll shoot 100 times and all he needs is one. Do you think that's what we're going to see is just him shooting continually? Is this going to be like a Khabib type of performance?
Well, so he fights the same pretty much every time, and it's a hey, this is what I'm doing, stop it type thing. And he likes to stay long with the kicks. I think he'll look to stay long with the kicks, the teeps, the high kicks, and it kind of puts guys away to where they feel like they have to commit. And sometimes he'll get these guys emotional, like he's just trying to run from me. And these guys overcommit on punches, which makes the takedown a lot easier for Sterling. That's his game, right? He kicks a ton. He doesn't box with people. He kicks and kicks and kicks and kicks to try to get them to overcommit, cover distance. That's when his shot comes. He does it every time. It's coming. Stop it.
Well, any interest from either of you in the total on this fight? Over under at 3.5 rounds. The over is minus 125, so just a little bit juice to the over getting into the fourth round, and then the under is basically even money at minus 110. Any interest in or a thought on if this fight is going to see a finish or not?
I'm coin flipped on it. Like there's a scenario where I'm like, yeah, that sounds really good. Like when you say that, I'm like, yeah, all day, and then I start to think about it. I'm like, man, I don't know, like. They both have the ability to finish a fight, like that. Sterling can finish one on the ground, and Yan can finish it standing. It's just, I'll tell you what, man. Hats off to the bookmakers on this one, because they're on. They're on with these two fights we're talking about.
I personally think the total is almost correlated to the point where if Yan wins the fight, it's probably going over. I mean, I know he could finish. He's got tremendous knockout power. And I think he has a really good chance of finishing in round 4, round 5 as well. Because if Izzy doesn't get the grappling working in round 1 effectively, if he can't finish Yan in round 1, I think he starts to slow down a little bit round 2, round 3. Yan picks it up, man. I mean, the guy's a beast. And he's got so much power in those hands. I mean, and precision as well. So I think he's going to find his moments as the fight progresses. And if it does go over the total, I think it's going to be Yan winning the fight. So you might as well, if you believe in the over, I think you're going to lean towards Yan a little bit. If you believe in the under, then I think you have to lean towards Sterling a little bit because of that submission game. If he takes his back, we saw what he did to Sandhagen. I mean, he's got those unorthodox submissions and unorthodox striking, as James said. I don't think the unique thing here is I don't think that Sterling has lost a round since he got knocked out by Moraes, right? I mean, that's phenomenal. So his striking has gotten so much better. I mean, he's getting more comfortable. He's getting more fluid. He takes his head off the line so well these days. It's hard to hit him. So, but if anybody could do it, it's a guy like Yan. He's going to be putting the pressure. His cardio, he can go 5 rounds strong for sure. Both these guys can, but I just think in the cardio advantages kind of lie with Yan as well. So I just think he's picking up the pace as the fight progresses, and I see Sterling kind of slowing down a bit. So the total is kind of tough because, like I said, if it goes over 3.5, it's probably Yan. If it goes under, it's probably Sterling.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. I agree with you. If this was a 3-round fight, I think I would favor Sterling more. But you get 5 rounds, and it's just the level of focus and the level of defensive skill that you need to not get hit by that guy for 25 full minutes. And as you're getting tired, I mean, the pressure he puts on you. I mean, I've seen different guys now fight Yan, and
it's exhausting.
when Jimmy Rivera fought Yan, he was having a lot of success, but he was hitting him with some power shots. But Petr Yan just never gets off of his game plan. He's doing the same thing. He's basic. He's fundamental. He's coming at you, and no one can stop, I guess, his forward pressure. Yep. And so you give him 25 minutes. That's a long time to be in there. You saw what happened when Jose Aldo fought him, and he was hitting him with some leg kicks. He was having a little bit of success. Ended up getting in trouble in the fifth round of that fight. So I agree with you, Nick, that the later rounds might be more difficult for Sterling. Let's get to the third title fight: Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson. Full disclosure, James will be in the corner of Megan Anderson. She is a heavy underdog, as most women are, against Amanda Nunes, plus 700. Nunes coming back at minus 1100. Not a whole lot of action so far that I can tell in terms of a line movement on this fight. Nick, we'll start with you again. I mean, Amanda Nunes, it's just one of those situations. She's such a huge favorite. Are you seeing any action on this fight, and what type of action are you seeing?
Yeah, we will. I mean, obviously, people are, even with the insane price, people are going to look to parlay Nunes still, try to find an advantage. So they'll throw her in, like, as a sure thing, they'll throw her in there and with other multi-sport parlays or whatever, and just kind of bank it. That's what they're going to think here. But actually, the line, I'm adjusting the line as we go and dropping it slightly, even on air a little bit, meaning that there's not necessarily action that has to come in for you to adjust your line accordingly. I think of these big chalky lines that we see, even historically against Rousey, the public has come in on the underdog. Right. So the books are in a position a lot of times where, even though they have parlay action on the favorite on the heavy chalk, there's a lot of straight bets that come in on the dog. People are hoping to hit a lottery ticket. A lot of public actions are going to come in that way as well. So I've actually adjusted the line and dropped it a little bit because I know the money's going to be coming in on Anderson, and she is dangerous. You got to respect her. I mean, I think the price it's always one of those situations where when it gets to this point, it's probably overpriced. So this line is a little bit too high for sure. Anderson has amazing striking. If she could keep this fight on the feet, she has a chance to win. She's got that length. She's got that power. She has really good striking. This is going to be a tough test for Nunes on the feet. But the problem is, I don't think it stays there. I think Nunes is going to go for those takedowns, and she's just a better, more well-rounded mixed martial artist at this point.
James, Nick talked about some straight bets on Megan Anderson. You holding one of those tickets? You betting on your fighter over there?
I may be, yes.
I mean, obviously, you're in a spot here because you don't want to give too much away of the game plan or whatnot. But what can you tell us about this fight, about where Megan's mindset is coming in as such a heavy underdog and fighting, who a lot of people consider, of course, as the greatest of all time female fighter in Amanda Nunes?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, it's like we don't have anything to lose. You know what I mean? Like all the pressure's on them, and so from where we're coming from, it's just go out and do your thing. Obviously there's game plan and technique behind that, obviously, but I mean, we don't have anything to lose. I feel like the pressure's all on her, on Amanda. I mean, and from a striking standpoint, like if you look at this strictly from a statistical standpoint, like this, I feel like Megan is the only real 45er that Amanda's fought. The striking department, I don't feel like she's fought anybody at that weight with the type of striking, and like the closest thing you can look at is de Randamie, and de Randamie gave her some problems, hurt her a couple times, and couldn't keep the fight standing. So I don't think like there's any like misconception here. I think everybody knows exactly what, if the fight can stay standing, there's a great chance, if it gets to the ground, we got to stop the takedown. So obviously it's an extremely tough fight to take for any female. Mm-hmm. But I will say this, it's always impossible until it's not. You know what I mean? Like you look at guys like Renan Barão, who was unbeatable for 15 years or whatever, and then he gets beat once, and then it's like, okay, well, we know how to beat this guy now. So it's just everybody's like, it can't be done, and then all of a sudden, once it's done, it's a lot easier to do. So it's just, I'm in this sport every week, and an underdog always wins, always, every week after week after week after week. You can't go find me a week where an underdog didn't win. It happens every single week. So that's just where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? It's a tough fight, of course, but I feel like we have the tools and what it takes to win.
Let me just ask one follow-up, James. Nick mentioned that the fight is obviously Megan would seem her best shot is on the feet. You mentioned, we want to keep it on the feet. We want to showcase her striking. Are you anticipating Amanda to shoot a lot, or do you think that she is going to come in with a game plan of let's see how my hands go against Megan?
I mean, obviously, I think she'll start striking, but Megan's range can be very deceptive at times. It just depends on I think as the fight progresses, Amanda's going to test her takedown defense. You know what I mean? Like if the fight progresses at all, I do feel like she's gonna shoot because, I think Megan's gonna hit her. You know what I mean? Like Megan's gonna find her. She's long, has deceptive power. She's very tricky. She can make you flinch and you feel kind of dumb at times because you're biting on stuff you shouldn't be. She's very, very tricky, and I do feel like she's gonna at some point she's gonna shoot. You know what I mean? Like as the fight progresses, she's obviously, I think at some point going to test the takedown defense.
And then real quick, actually, one more. How would you characterize Megan's power relative to any other opponent that Amanda has probably faced at this point?
I think she's a harder hitting, much more tricky version of de Randamie.
Okay.
If that makes any sense at all. Like de Randamie is known for her power. She's got a very, very like Muay Thai style. Megan has more than de Randamie in my opinion, and she's very, very deceiving. There's raw power and there's sharp power, right? Like Megan has both, and not many. She's very accurate with, but she'll also get you like swiping and biting on things that you normally wouldn't. And that's where I think is like her range of deception and just the trickery that she has. It can be difficult to time, especially if you've never trained with her before. If you're right across from her for the first time, it can be very tricky. It's just little details. She did well.
Well, as I mentioned, there's a lot more to this card than just the 3 title fights. So let's get to your guys' best bets for the week. Nick, why don't you kick us off? What do you got for us?
Kara-France versus Rogerio Bontorin. I think that fight is going to be fantastic. And it's another spot where we're probably getting a rightful favorite as an underdog. I like Munoz last week. We said that, plus money, he should have been favored. I think it's a similar situation here with Bontorin. I think it's going to be a very competitive fighter to go back and forth, but I like his grappling. I like his striking. I think he can compete with Kara-France on the feet, and I think he can out-grapple him. I think he's a better jiu-jitsu practitioner as well. So I'm expecting it to go back and forth, but at plus money, I mean, you're talking about around plus 120, plus 115 out there. He should be the favorite. So my best bet will be Bontorin on this card. I might have some more bets coming up as well. I'm looking at the card, but for right now, that is my main focus. And the rest of them, you guys can check out UFC Fight Pass. If I have any more, they'll be on that show as well. 4 p.m., a little plug, shameless plug. Sorry about that. But make sure you check out UFC Fight Pass, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern for UFC On the Line. Okay.
James, how about you? Best bets this week?
I have a bunch that I really like. The first one, I'll do like a little 2-team parlay, the over 2.5 on Kenny Cruz, and then over 2.5 on Askarov Benavidez. I mean, I just don't see those fights getting finished. So I like that one. But there's 2 that I really like. And on you before the show started, like I've been winning every week. I haven't been given the good picks out. So I'm trying to do this for you. I really like Rakic in this fight. I know that there's a big danger factor to start this fight out with. I feel like if we can get through the first half or maybe even the first round, I feel like Rakic is in business. That dude walks in at 240. He's massive. He can grapple. He's got great cardio. He's got good power. His hand speed's ridiculous. Great striker. I just feel like he's the more complete fighter. And then after watching Santos' last fight with Glover, I think the blueprint's kind of been laid on how to beat him. Mm-hmm. And Rakic, to me, I'm really big on that guy. I think he's a future champion. So I really like that one. My second one is going to be my teammate, guy. I just can't believe the line is where it is. He's an underdog. The level of competition that he's faced compared to Espinoza is insane to me. He's fought Demetrius for the title, almost finished Demetrius. One of the very few guys that even went around against Demetrius. I mean, he's been fighting in the UFC for a long time. I know he's on he's 1-3 in his last skid. People don't know as he's changed a lot of things, and he's changed his camp obviously with Back to Me. There's just a bunch of little details that he's done. I went big on Elliott. I know he's my guy, but I can tell you guys that from a non-emotional standpoint that I feel very good about him winning, and the fact that he's an underdog is insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting set of circumstances for Tim Elliott. Like you mentioned, I mean, he did fight Demetrius Johnson, almost submitted him in the first round. And then, he was one of those guys who was very close, and his head coach was Robert Follis, who passed away a couple of years ago. And I think that maybe that's one of the adjustments you're talking about, James, is that I remember he used to live here in Vegas. Now he's out there training with you guys in Kansas City. And the competition that he has lost to has been elite. So,
yeah, I mean, and Espinoza hasn't fought like the level of it's night and day the level of competition difference.
Yep. All right, so we got a best bet from Nick on Bontorin. We've got a parlay and a couple of best bets there from James Krause. Hopefully, we gave you guys some winners. Enjoy UFC 259, like I mentioned at the beginning, one of the top cards of the year, and we will see you right back here next week. for another UFC Best Bets. Take care.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.